The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. And each week, we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages we cover. This week, we'll be starting off with Rick Milne, the mayor of Honeoye Falls. Rick, what's going on there?
Chris, it's great to be here and great to see my fellow electeds. Start off with just a couple of small points on Monroe County. We are preparing for the Monroe County Youth Awards program, and that's held at Monroe Community College. That's up on April 24th. And as always, I expect some incredible award winners from Legislative District 5, which includes, of course, the town of Mendon and village of Honeoye Falls, Rush, part of Henrietta, part of Pittsford, and part of Parenton. We always have some incredible youths that are very deserving, and they do receive some of these awards. Letters were being sent out this past week to those who are supposedly receiving the awards. When that process is completed, I'll look forward to announcing some of our local recipients. Members of the legislative body have had some very positive meetings with our recently elected, or appointed, I should say, Monroe County Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Marilena Velez de Brown. We sincerely appreciate her time and the information she's provided to our departments and all about her departments, and the information she's provided on program updates and various areas that are under her purview. This is very positive dialogue and very important for the legislative districts we represent. So we really appreciate the communication we have with Dr. Velez de Brown. Moving over to the Village of Honeoye Falls elections were completed this past Tuesday, the 18th. The three positions that were up for election were mayor and two trustee positions. All three were incumbents that ran unopposed. But as a board, we appreciate those who still come out and vote, even in an uncontested race. We appreciate the opinions of those that voted, as well as those who may not have voted or who may have written in a candidate. Please know we welcome all to our village board meetings and appreciate and want our community to be involved in our public discussions, support our extremely transparent process, and to be part of the process overall. So we appreciate that. Lastly, this past Thursday morning, along with many of our local business members, another village business meeting was conducted. This meeting was held at Thrive, which is at 10 East Street, right across the street from Village Hall. We appreciate Sarah Escolas for her welcoming all of us to her facility to hold this meeting. The goal of these meetings are to work towards developing an active and engaging local chamber of commerce to benefit our greater community and the businesses that have invested into our community. If you are a business owner and want to take part in this wonderful effort, please email us at village@villageofhoneoyefalls.org with your contact information, and we will pass this along to the group and get you on our email chain and make sure you're invited to future meetings. And again, the goal is to work towards developing an active chamber of commerce that's engaged and supporting all of the businesses, and then certainly hopefully working with members of the business of Mendon Hamlet Group, as well as Lima and some of the other municipalities around. So we appreciate that opportunity. With that, Chris, that's what I have for today. Look forward to talking to everyone again next week.
All right. Thanks, Rick. And it's over to Mike. Mike, what's going on this week?
Hey, Chris, thanks for having us again. As many people have heard, the village elections were this past week, and there's a tie. one of the front runners was far and away, and that's not in jeopardy. But there is a tie vote for second and third place. When the Board of Elections has a vote tally that is less than 20 of difference, they have to do a total hand recount, and they'll be waiting a week to see if there's any absentee ballots that come in. So by the time this is printed in the newspaper, we should have the final election result. If it is still a tie, nowadays that's called a failure to elect, which means that the seat is filled by an appointment of the village board, and it is elected then on the next election cycle, which would be in the fall, in the November cycle, when all of the town board seats will be elected. Just a reminder, cleanup days are May 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Please see the town clerk to get your permit. That includes everybody in the town and village. We did combine that to save money. Loose change actually adds up. We just had someone donate $160 to the community center project at Mark Tubbs Park, which was all their loose change that they found around the house, took it to the bank, had it counted, and dropped off a check. You can certainly do that too if you'd like. We would be happy to take that money for the community center. Livingston County now ranks among the 2025 healthiest counties in New York. The Department of Health was pleased to announce that just this past week. And if you would like more information, the Livingston County website, Department of Health, would have that for you. From Congresswoman Tenney's office, there is a contest open for high school students to have their art displayed in Washington. As I sort through this, it is the 2025 Congressional Art Contest. Over 30 high school students from the New York 24 district submitted artwork last year for a chance to have it displayed in the U.S. Capitol. All high school students from across the district are invited to submit their artwork for consideration. The submissions of art must be delivered to one of Claudia Tenney's district offices between April 14th and April 18th. For more information, you can visit Claudia's website about the kinds of art and sizes and whatnot. And lastly, swinging back to the elections, the Livingston County Board of Elections announced new voting machines. They'll be using ClearVote voting machines, which do allow for paper ballots, and it's a brand new system for us, which got tried out last week at the village elections. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Mike. And now it's over to you, John. John, what's new and happening in Mendon?
Well, a couple of things you probably read in the Sentinel recently regarding the planning board meeting coming up on April 2nd. That meeting is held at the Mendon Town Hall upstairs in the boardroom. And as I said, it's a planning board meeting is regarding the RG&E station located on Route 64, just north of the Thruway. A lot of people think that Thruway is the line between Pittsford and Mendon. However, it is just a shade north of the Thruway, the actual line. So when this was done back in the 90s, all of the equipment was housed in barns that made it look more like Mendon. And now RG&E wants to take down the barn and put some equipment that would be open aired. And I would encourage everyone, because it is a main thoroughfare to the town of Mendon. We want it to look appropriate to the town of Mendon. And there's a reason why the planning board and the town board back in the 90s decided that this was the best course of action. So we would like to see that happen again. And I encourage everyone to either attend the meeting send in a letter to the planning board. You can send it to myself and I will forward it on to the planning board secretary to be distributed. This is something that I feel is very important in our community, and we need to maintain our character. And this is one of the ways to do that. I do want to talk just for a moment about assessments. We've seen a lot of our neighboring communities doing what's known as a reval or a reassessment, and you probably read about it in the paper. There are no plans currently to do a reval or reassessment in the town of Mendon. However, our equalization rate is now at 62%. That means that you're basically assessed for 62% of what the state feels is the value of your property. And as we know, all know, any type of property, housing in the town of Mendon, prices have skyrocketed over the last few years. We're in demand. We have an excellent school system, and part of the town of Mendon is obviously in the Pittsburgh School District, and the majority of it is in the Honeoye Falls-Lima School District. Both of those schools have excellent reputations, which has made property and housing in this area very available, or I shouldn't say available, very desirable, excuse me, for residents and new people coming into this area. Let's see. Through the New York Association of Towns and working with the SUNY college system, the SUNY in Potsdam is working on courses to attract more young people to government jobs, especially in towns and villages. There are a lot of positions that have been filled for a long time, and people do retire or maybe move on to different jobs. And they're not the easiest jobs to fill, because a lot of these jobs are specialized because, quite frankly, we're part of the government and things have to be done a certain way. And it's a lot different than things are done in the private sector. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's a good thing for our state that maybe we'll get some young people involved, not only maybe in politics or running for office, but also just working for municipalities. Because as I said, there is a very large need for people with these types of skills. Lastly, one other thing, our town, as everyone knows, your town and county tax bill, it went out back in January, and most people have either paid it or are paying installments currently. And we are lucky in Monroe County because the towns are made whole. In other words, the money that comes in from your taxes, the town gets to take our portion of it right off the top. We don't have to, as a town, chase down anybody who doesn't pay their taxes. We turn over the remainder of the money to the county, and the county does that. And this doesn't happen in all counties in New York State. And we are very fortunate because that would be a considerable expense to the town if we had to track down people who did not pay their taxes promptly. So once again, that's an asset to all of our towns in Monroe County. Lastly, Mr. Tom Dubois recently resigned from the town board. The town board met recently, and we appointed the former town clerk, James Mirsky, to that position. That position will run from when he was appointed on March 18th through December 31st, 2025. That position will be on the ballot in November of 2025 for a 2-year term, which would finish Mr. Dubois' original 4-year term. So we certainly welcome Mr. Mirsky, him serving as town clerk for over 25 years. He's a valuable asset to the town of Mendon, and he will be a valuable asset to the town board going forward. And that covers it.
All right. Thanks, John. Anything more, Rick, from your end? Nothing. Thank you both for being here, and thank you all for watching. Remember, this program airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. Just like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and those platforms will notify you when the show is broadcast. Otherwise, read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for this week. See you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.